Not too good. Give me a moment. I'm in Starbucks in Cheyenne. I gotta go outside. I like the camo. I'm gonna grab my keys real quick and go out and have a cigarette in the vehicle. I'm typing up my story. If I well, you have my phone number, right?
Of course I do.
All right. If you text me your email address, I will send you the part of the story that I have already. I would send you the all of the evidence. It's currently on another computer that, I mean, I have some of it right now. It's on some flash drives, but I've got a 256 gigabyte flash drive that's full, in addition to two more that are pre-full. Yes, ma'am. Plus what's on that other computer. However, the the stuff that goes along with that other computer, the charging cord is over at my friend Rayanna's, and she's not currently happy with me because her husband is a dickhead, and I made mention of it on a YouTube video. A few YouTube videos, actually. He throws tantrums like a 5-year-old and treats her like shit. Fuck that dude.
Why are you always a savior? That's what I want to know.
Somebody has to be the good guy. I've been through hell. I mean, I grew up getting raped and beaten, and my parents were on cocaine and couldn't do jack shit. So, I needed a hero when I was a kid, and as an adult, I see no reason not to be. I'm an asshole now, though. I used to be a lot fucking nicer.
You are nice. What are you talking about?
Do you hear my goddamn mouth? Holy fuck. The Christian community tends to really hate me at this point in time.
Well, fuck the Christians.
Well, some of them are pretty nice. They're just...
Bible-loving motherfuckers.
A lot of them are pretty easy to manipulate. You just say in Jesus' name and they believe whatever bullshit you feed them.
Exactly. So I'm sorry, but my cat wants to get in here.
That's alright. Dogs and cats love me, so do kids.
Okay, well, that's Mia. And
Hi,
she's
Mia.
not getting attention right now. Hi, Mia.
She's huge.
Okay. So
she's got a massive bean.
She's a Maine Coon.
Well, she's kind of small for a Maine Coon.
Yeah, she's a little small, but she's, like, yeah. Anyways, I'm not giving you attention, so I'm going to have a cigarette. Bye.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, Jesus. I have to show you something. Look at that.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Is that the ocean?
Yes, of course it is.
Where do you live? I mean, not your address, but that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty stellar. I can't complain. So I'd rather talk about positive stuff. Look at that. Look at
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
Fucking stellar.
That is positive stuff. I'm cutting out on you a little bit. Oh my God. Ah.
See what? Oh God, my double chin. Anyway, I saw that you were online, and so I wanted to say hi.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm actually not online. I'm on another Facebook ban.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your beard is getting bigger, and bigger by the day.
Yeah. You know, we got this beautiful thing on this piece of paper called the Constitution, where they got this thing called the First Amendment. And I've noticed that First Amendment doesn't mean a damn bit of difference except on paper. But I'm exercising mine, so that's positive.
Hey now.
I'm a rock star?
It is. Do you know how many amendments there are?
No, I do not.
27.
There's 27. Huh.
No thanks.
I don't know.
27.
The last I knew, they were talking about introducing a couple more of them. The main ones that I focus on are the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and the 13th Amendment. I love the First Amendment. I love the Second Amendment. The 13th Amendment is garbage.
This is true. It's very true.
That's the amendment that made every former slave in the South a slave again immediately after the war because they were made homeless. They were either forced to go work on the plantations for less than Alright, so during the Civil War, or prior to the Civil War, it cost a lot to keep and maintain a slave, and you really did want them healthy so that you could get the maximum amount of work out of them. But after the war, you know, you could basically just cheapskate them with whatever payment that you could give them, and we also adopted the Roman rental agreement. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. But the 13th Amendment is what made it so that the Roman rental agreement, that's where basically if your parents or grandparents didn't own land, you can't own land, so you have to rent. And in order to rent,
Really?
in order to rent, you end up paying 3 times as much as if you were to buy it a month at a time. Like let's say you're buying a house and it's a 3-bedroom house, and in the area that you're living in, you're paying about $400 for your mortgage per month. Well, in that same area, if you're renting a place, not a house, but an apartment, you're going to be paying about $1,200 for that place per month. That's what the
Really?
Roman rental agreement is. You end up paying more because you don't have the credit to buy. But there's a lot of other stuff that goes in with that, like slavery. The 13th Amendment made slavery illegal, except in the cases of if you're a criminal. So we created these things called chain gangs, and I'm sure you know all about them. That's after all the telegraph poles leading to the town of Charleston were strung up with former slaves. Some of them were actually
no, I
skinned
know that.
alive. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to share that piece of history then. But they were homeless. That's what chain gangs were started for, is for all of these former slaves who are now homeless, and it was illegal for them to be homeless. So Adolf Hitler used this model for his forced labor camps, which are different from concentration camps. Concentration camps were specifically for Jews and political criminals, political prisoners who were to be put to death, whereas a forced labor camp was exactly like a chain gang. You really didn't get the proper amenities. Some of the first ones were, well, you know the story of Anne Frank, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, well, she was in Amsterdam, and at the time that she was there living in that loft, over 80% of, all right, the Nazis basically said that anybody who was willing to sign a piece of paper supporting the Nazi party could stay there in Amsterdam. And any student who didn't sign this piece of paper ended up in a forced labor camp. Over 80% of the students in Amsterdam refused to sign that piece of paper, and less than 10% of them were ever returned home. So,
Really?
yes, ma'am. So Belgium is pretty famous for that, but mostly in Europe, not here in the United States. That's because these students, unlike the students here in America, they had some balls. They were willing to stand up to the Nazi party, whereas here today, people tend to be too afraid to stand up. Technology has gotten too far ahead of them, and it's too easy for them to ignore the truth. But the positive part is there's people like me who are well educated on it. So how are things going there?
It's going. It's going. I'm not sure where it's going, but it's going. So,
Well, it's a beautiful
I
place.
reach out to you.
Do what?
Well, thank you. reach out to you. I don't know. I feel like the need to do that. If that makes any sense.
Yes, ma'am. It's nice to get a call from somebody letting me know that they care. Before all of this happened,
I do care.
thank you. Before all of this happened, people really didn't call me. I always had to call them. My dad, in the entirety of my life, has never called me first.
No, I know how it is. Trust me, I have a sister that does the same thing, but never calls me. I have to reach out to her, so it is what it is, I guess. I hate that saying, but
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So,
Well, it is what it is until
anyway,
people
I
stand
have
up
to
to
go.
change it. Go ahead. You have to go
I
pick
have to go
someone
get
up?
my daughter right now. So, I get my daughter right now. So I just want to call and say hi. That's all.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for doing that. Send me your email address. I'll send you the portion of the story I have already.
Sure, I will. All right.
Thank you. You rock, Stephanie. Be safe.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Okay, bye.
I try. Bye.
You rock. Bye. All right, how do I hang this thing up? All right, she got it.